Hi AQR students, we are finishing up student activity sheet number 5, a cool tool, and we are on number 7, which says another of Vanessa's clients, Ronnie, wants to save for retirement. Ronnie believes that he will need $2 million since he is planning to be retired for 20 to 30 years. He can save in investments that have the following parameters. So here's what's going to be changing each time. The number of years will be somewhere between 20 and 40. Number of compounding periods is annually, quarterly, monthly, weekly, and daily. And the interest rate can be somewhere between 2.77% and 5.23%, any rate between. All right? Ronnie wants to know the effect that each variable has on the present value. Select a variable. Use the following steps to complete the table below. Start with the minimum value of your variable. Use the average value of the other variables that have parameters. Calculate the present value of the investment. Decide the next value of your variable to test, and repeat the process for a total of 5 different values. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to keep two things the same. The compounding period, the interest rate will be the same for this first table, and we will change the number of years. All right, our years is going from 20 to 40, right? So the minimum is 20 years. The maximum here is going to be 40 years. I guess I'm off the camera here. Let me fix that. There we go. Minimum's 20 years, maximum's 40 years. So halfway in between here is going to be 30 years, clearly. And so these other two spots, doesn't it make sense then? We'll just stick 25 years because that's halfway between 20 and 30. 35 years, halfway between 30 and 40. The other thing's going to stay the same. Our future value, and we'll put this all into Grunderware in just a minute, our future value is going to be $2 million. Let's just pick the average thing, so number of compounding periods. Since the middle here is monthly, let's do that. So we'll say that 12, we're going to compound monthly. So that'll be 12. Our interest rate, if we pick halfway between 2.77 and 5.23, if I add those two together, I'm going to get 8%, and half of that would be 4. So if I average 2.77 and 5.23, I'm going to get a 4% rate. And so that's going to be halfway in between. That's what we'll use for our interest rate, 4% interest rate. And so what we're looking for is what is the present value under with these situations, and then we'll talk about percent change. So I'm going to do a little bit of this with you. Hang on just a minute and I'll set up Grunderware. I'll be right back. Okay, so you can see that I have gone to the Grunderware website. I have put in $2 million for my future value right here. I have put in an interest rate of 4%. I've put in, oops, sorry about that. I don't know what happened. No, sorry about that. I have put in 20 years for the number of years, and that's going to be our first line on our table that we're doing here. Let me pull that out. First line is 20 years, and we are having 12 periods per year. I'm solving for the present value, and I click on P, and I get 899,854.28. 899,854.28. Alrighty. I'm going to do it again. This time I'm going to do 25 years. So let's change to 25 years. I'm going to keep everything else the same. I'm going to solve for present value. And this time I get 736,983.45. Okay. You're going to continue on, change it to 30 years, 35 years, 40 years. You'll have 5 different numbers here. Let's talk about percent change. Okay, let me close this for a second. For percent change, what we do is we find the difference here, and we'll take 736,983.45. I'm going to subtract the original amount, 899,854.28, and I'm going to divide that by the original amount, 899,854.28. Okay, so when I do that, I've got a handy dandy calculator here to help me do that. If I do 736 983.45 minus 899,854.28. On the top here, I'm going to get a negative 162,870.83. And then I'm going to divide that by 899,854.28 divided by 899,854.28. And I get, rounded to 3 decimals, negative 0.181. In other words, this is about a negative 18.1%. So it's dropping 18% here, roughly. Okay, it's dropping about 18% going from 20 years to 25 years. Okay, pretty good drop. So you're going to find whatever this is here, you know, for 30 years, you'll have, I'm just going to call it X for right now. Figure out what that number is. You're going to come over here, you're going to say whatever X is minus the 736, 983.45, left off the 3.45, and you're going to divide that by the 736, 983.45. All right, I think my pen's running out of ink there. Hope you can read that. So whatever this number is, subtract the 736, 983.45, and then divide by the 736, 983. We always divide by the original amount, which was the 25 years in this case. And again, we're going to find the percentage here, and on each of these, you'll get a number here for 35 years. And then you'll do 30 and 35 years, get the percent change there. 35 and 40 years, you get the percent change there. And then you'll be able to see what's going on here with your changing percentages. Are the percentages all the same, or are they changing every time? What's going on? Okay, so that's it for that table. Okay, next page. You can see a table looks very similar. This time, we're changing the compounding periods. Okay. So remember, it said that we might do once a year, 4 times a year, 12 times a year, weekly, 52 times a year, or maximum we'll be compounding daily, 365 times per year. All right. Our future value is going to be $2 million still. What else did we have here? Now this is our compounding period. That's what we had previously. Now our variable value, let's use 30 years. That was our number of years. Years is going to be 30. And we'll still use that 4% interest rate. Okay, so plug those numbers, go to Grunderware, put in your future value, put in your years, put in your rate, put in number of compounding periods, and then figure out the present value again. And this time you're going to be changing the compounding periods each time. All right. Once you get the numbers in here, figure out your percent change, just like we did on the first table. Okay. One last table to do. Last table, you're going to do this table 3 times now. And on this last table, we are going to be changing your interest rates. So remember, the minimum it said was going to be 2.77%. The maximum was 5.23%. Remember, the average of those was 4%. If I average these two, 2.77 and 4, I'm going to get 3.385%. If I average 4 and 5.23, I get 4.615%. So those are the 5 different interest rates. You'll be changing the interest rate each time. Okay? The other things, future value is still $2 million. That never changed. We're going to be using a monthly number of compounding, so it'll be 12 times a year, monthly. And now we're going to use the average, 30 years was the average of the number of years. Okay, so put these numbers in along with the interest rate, solve for present value, change the interest rate, solve for present value, change the interest rate, solve for present value. Once we have these numbers, figure out your percent changes. All right? Once you have done that, this is the vast majority of the work for this student activity sheet number 5. Number 8 and 9 is just going to ask you kind of to reflect over what you've just done on number 7. Okay? Number 8 and number 9, you just pull up the sheet here. Number 8 says, overall, what impact on the present value does each variable have So look at in number of years. This is the first one we looked at. The interest rates and how often we compound. Those were the three things we looked at. And so what impact does each one have? Then, of all the variables, which seems to have the greatest effect on lowering the present value of Ronnie's investment? Because that's the thing. How much can he get away with? What's the least he can get away with right now? Which one of these variables is going to have the biggest effect on that? Okay? So answer 8 and 9 based on number 7. But those should not take you that long. All right. I hope y'all are doing well. Email me some questions if you have any. And that is it for today. Thanks. Bye.